So as you can probably tell, a little bit of a change of scenery today, and it's a little bit windy, but the view's pretty nice. So one of the challenges with editing video or doing any type of work remotely is that there's no Wi-Fi. You might be saying, well, sure, that's why we have smartphones and why they have LTE or 5G or internet built into them, which is all well and good for a lot of things. If you're going to be checking your mail, if you're going to be doing, some basic web browsing, that's totally fine. But what if you need to access an app that you can only use through your desktop? Well, then of course you can use your smartphone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. The only problem is if you're like me and you work with video files or any other type of files that are gigantic in size, if you're not really careful, you're gonna plow through all of your data in a few minutes. Fortunately, there's a super useful app that I use all the time that will help you track, manage, and maintain what apps are allowed to use your data so that you can ensure that you manage it and hopefully make it a lot less likely that you're ever going to burn through all of that data, particularly if you're out traveling or at a canyon. So I was considering actually doing the tutorial out here, but it is incredibly windy. They do have this nice little bench out here, which is nice, but yeah, it's way too windy out here. Okay, so I was able to find a wind-free area to record this, so that makes this a little bit easier. But as you can see, I already have trip mode installed, and what it's gonna do is it's going to walk us through the process of getting that up and running. But before I do that, one of the things I want to take a note of is that I am connected to my phone for my internet access. So it is being used right now as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And as I touched on earlier, you could just start working, right? You could just start doing all the tasks that you need to do. However, I've got things like Resilio Sync, or you might have Dropbox or Google Drive, or maybe you've got Backblaze for your backups. And those things, particularly for me, if I drop one video file into my folder that syncs, it's going to nuke my data plan, that I would max it out or incur huge fees. So that's where trip mode is going to help us. So first thing we want to do is make sure that we have it installed, and it's going to walk us through this process of getting it up and running. So you can read this if you want, but it's pretty straightforward. We'll click continue. And then it's going to have some system extensions that it's going to want you to install as well. So we'll see here that there's a filter that it will install that will route your internet access and all your traffic through. So it's not a VPN, so it's all being done on the computer. It's not going to any third-party servers or anything, but it does need to filter your internet traffic so it knows what to allow and what to stop. So we'll click activate filter, click allow, and there we go. It's that easy. So depending on your computer and your setup, there might be more steps that they want you to do, but for the most part, it's pretty simple. So what we'll see here is that it's going to have this nice little menu item that will appear. Oh, and I see we're also going to want to make sure that we allow notifications. So I do want that. And then we'll have this little item, this little icon up here, and it's going to turn red when it is blocking internet traffic. Right, so let's click on that real quick, and you'll see that this list starts to appear of apps that are trying to use, either are using or are trying to use data in order to connect to the internet. So, but what we'll see here is that they are not checked and that they are grayed out. And that means that they are not allowed to use internet access. However, as I'm working, I use something called Adobe Creative Cloud, and I need that to be able to access a number of the fonts I'm working with as I am working with a video project. So if I were to, let's say, decide I want to activate Interstate, the font, we'll see here that that's not going to work because it is not being granted access to the internet, again, because we're trying to save on data. So I'm just going to check that box. And now Creative Cloud will continue to work as normal. I'm able to deactivate and activate. As we can see, it's starting to allow that to use some data. Okay, so as we're going through and working, one of the other things you'll find out as well is that as you start using apps, you'll be able to see which ones are needing to access the internet. And so you get to go through, like I need to be able to update GitHub Desktop. So I'll check this little box, go and quit it, then restart. And we'll be able to see up at the top, it is now able to access the internet, and it is going to continue to tell me how much data I am using. The other thing that you'll notice as well as you are starting to browse the web or do a number of different things on your computer, you'll want to be very careful and monitor this. You want to make sure that you know which apps are eating up the most data so that you can get rid of them. Obviously, something like Safari is going to be eating up a lot of data based upon which specific pages that you're visiting. So for example, if you're watching videos on YouTube, you're going to start plowing through a ton of data as opposed to if you're just viewing static pages. So you want to keep an eye on that. But the cool thing is that this is going to allow you to check and uncheck which things you want to have access. What you'll see up here at the top is your total for this particular session or today or this week of how much data that you are allowing through, how much you're using. So that'll help you stay very cognizant of how much data on your phone you're actually using. Then if we're to jump in here to the settings, you'll see that you have a number of other options available to you as well. So if you like to, you can actually go in here and create profiles. I usually don't because I just use this on my laptop and I only use it in one scenario, and that's when I'm connected to my phone. But if you want to, you can create you can use the default one, and you can create multiple profiles and then choose which specific applications are allowed and which ones are not. So if you just want to be able to switch between profiles, it makes it super easy. You can also create a schedule. Again, this isn't really relevant to me because it's not time-based. It's basically whenever I'm on a laptop using my phone for data. But if for whatever reason on Tuesday afternoons, you know you want to be able to throttle certain apps from using your phone data or just connecting to the internet in general, you can do that here. So even if your goal isn't necessarily to save data, maybe you want to keep yourself from getting distracted. And so you can, if there's distracting apps, maybe there's an Instagram app or an app on your Mac that you don't want to distract you, maybe while you're working, you can set a schedule to make sure you can't even connect to, or it can't connect to the internet during that time. So a lot of other features in here as well, but mainly my main use for it is just making sure that I can manage the data that I am using and not allowing through, so that I can ensure that, again, not eating up a ton of phone data and not mistakenly going through it too quickly because I've got a syncing service or a backup piece of software that's using that data. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for this video. As always, if you found this video useful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.